Hi everyone, I hope you're really well. Long time no foundation review until today, because today is the day that I crack open one of my drawers of shame. No, it's not my skincare drawer or my hair care drawer, it's of course my makeup drawer of shame, because yes, I have three. And I do have a lot of foundations to test, but there was one foundation in particular which I know is a holy grail for lots of people, and it's been around for quite a while, and I really wanted to test it. And I actually got my hands on 4 sample shades from Feel Unique's Pick and Mix service. A lot of the lighter shades have gone now, but they do actually have some of the sort of medium to deep shades left. And if you've seen the thumbnail and title of this video, you'll know that today I am testing the Lancôme Teint Idole, I think that's how you pronounce it correctly, long wearing foundation. I am so excited to get this on my face. I did mention that I've got 4 shades of this. I have already swatched those 4 shades on my face, and that was interesting because they came out looking extremely different. So the one that I decided to go for in the end is number 2, which is Lis Rosé, I think is how you pronounce that. I think this is probably going to be the best match for me. If you don't know much about this foundation, from the goddess's lips herself, Lisa Eldridge, who is she the creative director of Lancôme? I forget what her title is, but she is an amazing makeup artist. She has a YouTube channel and she does Kate Winslet's makeup, so amongst other people. She's amazing. From her very own lips herself, she describes this as a high coverage, long wearing but breathable foundation. So that sounds amazing to me. But in terms of learning a little bit more about this foundation from the actual Lancôme website, our best-selling liquid foundation Teint Idole Ultra Wear is now available in 40 shades, which is absolutely fantastic, making it easier than ever to find your perfect shade match, or not, as the case may be, because it's quite overwhelming. This liquid foundation is long-lasting and provides full coverage without feeling cakey, leaving skin feeling comfortable all day. With great staying power, our 24-hour foundation allows you to go out and be your best without needing to retouch on the go, which sounds pretty fantastic to me. Teint Idole Ultra Wear is transfer-free and smudge-free, giving you confidence to carry on with your day and maximise your power. It then goes on to say that what makes this different to anything else is there's eternal soft polymer, which allows increased comfort level with ultra long wear. NAI pigments, specially coated pigments, maintain consistent pH level with skin, so colour stays true all day. I think what they're basically saying there is don't expect it to oxidize at all. And then perlite and silica, which is 2 of the most effective oil absorbing ingredients, which if you know much about my skin, that's very exciting to me. If you don't know anything about my skin type, I do have oily combination skin. I'm typically oily in my T-zone. That's like an inverted T, isn't it? And then my chin area is quite dry and aged and not great. So I've got quite a lot going on for foundation to be able to deal with. In terms of when I do foundation test videos, and I am conscious of the fact that I've not done one for a really long time, so I'm hoping I haven't forgot anything like I usually like to cover. I don't use primer or setting powder at all because I truly want to try this foundation on its own for the first time. If it looks like it's going to show promise, as in it doesn't cake or it doesn't fade really badly or those kind of things, then I'll start to experiment with using the many primers that I have or setting powders or something, just to see if we can make it look even better than it has done in this kind of first impressions video. And in terms of application, I have got my damp beauty blender here, which is all ready to go. I've brought a few brushes out with me because I've got some new ones that I was kind of wanting to play with. Normally I would use my Zoeva 104 buffing brush, which I really like. I've also got this Tarte one here, which I don't actually have the number of, but it came in a set, but it's quite a small softer kind of kabuki, and then I've got this It Cosmetics one as well, just to see if any of them make any kind of difference at all. So I think all that's left to do is zoom you in a little bit, and we will pop some on my face and see how good it is. Okay, so like I said, I went with the shade number 2. It really threw me when I was testing what shade to pick out of the 4 different samples I managed to get, because this one was the first one I put on and I thought it was going to be the lightest, and then things just seemed to get lighter. Although the colours did seem to change a little bit the more they settled, so I don't know. I think it's probably one of those things where for the most part I could probably get away with a few of the shades, but I've gone with the one which I think is going to be the closest match. I think we're going to go with brush first. When I watched, wow, that's perfumed. Sorry, I did not notice that when I was swatching it earlier. It's very strongly scented. That usually is the case with higher end foundations. When I was watching Lisa Eldridge's suggestion of how to apply this, she was saying about putting the majority of it in the center of the face and then blending out. It does certainly seem to be really easy to blend. Wow, it is so strongly perfumed. I'm still on the quest for my Holy Grail foundation. A few have come close. I think I've done okay shade match wise. I do have some stuff to cover up at the moment. This area in particular is the bane of my life, so it's very tricky to cover. I get a lot of breakouts, hormonal breakouts and stuff. In terms of it being full coverage, I've definitely applied foundations that have been much more of like a wham full coverage. But then sometimes it's nicer to have something that you can build up a bit more. Because as I'm getting older, I'm definitely appreciating the very subtle art of getting foundation application right and trying to make it look as though you still do actually have skin, but you're just trying to make the best of what's there. I don't feel like I've used that much, but it's looking pretty good, I think. Okay, I definitely need some more down here. I wonder if it's going to be a foundation that will give better coverage with a sponge maybe. It's not clinging to any dryness, so that's a good sign. It definitely feels really comfortable. It is just unbelievably strongly fragranced. Right, I'm just going to go over and build things up a little bit. What I like about this is it's giving you quite a while to mess with it, unlike say something like Estee Lauder Double Wear, which is obviously very long wearing foundation as well. You do have to work with it quite quickly. It can be quite unforgiving. It's another one that is a lot of people's favourite foundation, but it just doesn't give you much of a chance to get it where you want it. It's a little bit of a glow going on, which is disconcerting. As long as it doesn't get much worse than that, that's fine. Okay, I think we've got there, and it's getting to the point where it feels like it's beginning to set because my brush is sticking on it a little bit. But I think we're there. I think that is half of my face done. I think shade-wise, I did pretty well. Quite happy with that. So I will just take a picture of how things are looking right now, and then hopefully we'll get a really good idea of coverage. From what I can see of the pictures I've taken in the viewfinder, it seems to have knocked out my current eye bag situation, at least compared to this side anyway. So that is exciting. Right, let's pop a bit more on and we will use the sponge and just see if I can get a little bit more coverage with a sponge. Okay, I think that is all of my face now done. I think it's looking pretty good. My eyes are now looking a little bit more even. It does seem to have concealed things really nicely, and the scar that I've got on my cheek seems to have concealed really nicely as well. I don't think it's clinging to any dryness. I think I prefer the sponge application side at the moment. Yeah, I think I'm preferring the sponge side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go finish the rest of my makeup, and I will be back in just a second. It'll probably take me about 10 minutes in real time, and we'll just see how things are sitting and how it's settled, and yeah, we'll assess things. Okay, I am officially excited, and I don't often feel that way when I'm testing a new foundation, let's be honest. I think it's looking really, really nice. It looks quite natural, which is great. That's how I want it to look. I did have to put a bit more coverage just in my chin area, just because I felt that I didn't quite get the level of coverage I wanted. So I used the sponge for that, and that worked really well, really quickly. I think colour-wise, I did okay. I think I can probably get away with another couple of the shades as well. I don't think I'd want to go too much darker than this, because this has actually been a really, really good match for me. But yeah, I think it's looking fab. It's covered things nicely, but like I said, I still look like I actually have skin instead of the usual kind of full coverage makeup look that you get where it does just look like a mask. It feels very comfortable, it's not clinging to anything, it's not accentuating wrinkles as far as I can tell, or any dryness, and that glowiness that I was worried about does seem to have died down a bit. So now the main test is, how is it going to wear? And if it's anything to go by on the Lancôme website, they're saying it should wear really well, and there are those 2 exciting ingredients in this which will soak up any excess oil, which I know is going to happen at some point in the day. So those are the main things that I'm looking out for really, but I'm really happy with how this is looking, and I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that it's going to continue to perform really well for the rest of the day, because I am officially excited about this. I'm going to get on with the rest of my day, but I will see you at the end of the day and we will assess the situation and how the face is looking. Hi everyone, so it is the end of the day. I am rapidly losing what grey light I have, although to be fair, it's actually been a really quite nice day today, especially for testing foundation, because it has been really grotty the last few days, really rainy. It's been raining a bit today, but it's actually been quite bright and sunny as well. So shall we assess things? I'm just having a look in a really big mirror and we can see that there is a little bit of shininess going on, but it's really not bad at all. We're kind of still in healthy glow territory, as opposed to mass oil production, so that's good. It has worn off a little bit on my nose, but then I think most things probably do. I don't think I've ever really had a foundation that has hung around on my nose all day. Same for my chin. I've got a little bit of redness showing through, but it's really not too bad at all. In terms of everywhere else, it is still very much there, pretty much how I originally applied it. And I am super impressed. And I wish I tried this foundation a really, really long time ago, because I think we could be talking potential Holy Grail status. Because I think in terms of how this applied, how it's worn, how it's felt, how confident it's made me feel about my skin, I think we're potentially talking Holy Grail status, which, if you guys know me, you know that that is the ultimate. Well, it is for everyone, but for me, I've tried so many foundations. I always have issues with oiliness or it clinging to dry bits. And as far as I can see, it's not clinging to anything anywhere. It just looks gorgeous. And I was this close to going out and getting another sample of Estee Lauder Double Wear, just because I was like, oh, I do really quite like that one actually. And I do still like it, but I think I like this one more, just purely because of how much easier it is to apply and the fact that it gives you a little bit longer. I think they're probably a similar price. I don't think I actually mentioned the price of this when I was talking about it earlier, but it's Lancôme at the end of the day, so it is a high-end foundation which is going to have a high-end price tag to go with it as well. Having just looked it up online, I can see it is a standard 30ml bottle, like generally most things are, and it will set you back £31.50. So that is comparable to like Estee Lauder Double Wear, for example, and they do offer a similar level of coverage in terms of the real long-wearing staying power. I just think this one looks that bit more natural and forgiving. You've still got your own skin kind of coming through, but it just makes your skin look so good. I did bring with me my new little beauty blender, Blotterazzi, so let's just have a look, see, because it is quite glowy, as hopefully you'll be able to see. It's not too bad though, blimey. It's not anywhere near as bad as some I've tried. So let's just see if this can be improved. I don't feel any need to touch up at all in terms of the fading. I think where it has faded on my nose and my chin, it's really okay actually. And for a wear time of, what has it been, about 5.5, 6 hours, I am so impressed. I've not used any concealer at all. I think my under eye area still actually looks okay. I mean, we're not talking like beauty Instagrammer, flawless, amazing, but I've got to the age where I can't really get away with that kind of look anyway. So hell, if I can get away with using a foundation that's going to do all of these things, make my skin look nice, not cling to dry bits, not go hyper oily on me, and get rid of the dark circles as well, I am so happy, because I'm really hoping this is translating well on camera, but it is not clinging to any of the fine lines under my eyes at all. It's not accentuating them at all, and therefore making me look even older. I just feel really fresh-faced, and you know that feeling you get when you've put your makeup on and it's looking just how you want it to be and you're really happy? That's how I felt all day today. I've just felt so happy with this face, and the fact that it is worn really well and I continue to be happy with the face that I'm looking at in the mirror is amazing. I think I'm just trying to think of all the foundations I've ever tested, and there's been a lot. I think this is the best thing I've ever put on my face, and it's been sat in my drawer waiting for me to test for quite some time. And I'm going to see what other shades I can get away with, because I was looking at the pictures I took, and I think the second shade up, which I can't remember what the name of it was, but I think I'd get away with that one as well. That one looked like it could be quite a good match too. But I don't have anything bad to say. I really don't. Which for a first impression is definitely a first. I have never been in this situation before. So I will continue to experiment with this, and I will do a video just to update you guys with how I've got on. But to be honest, I'm quite tempted to pick this up in the full size and use it on the daily. And I know that's early days. This could have been a complete fluke, but the amount of positive reviews I've read about this foundation suggest otherwise. So if you have any kind of skin, I think this foundation is going to work for you, because it's not gone hyper oily, it's not clung to dry bits, the mature bits that I've got are fine, it looks beautiful, so easy to use, and there's 40 shades. Yeah, the only issue is the price, but to be honest, I've tried a lot of foundations and I would happily pay £31.50 for this foundation. I think it's amazing. Right, that is it for today's video and review. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it useful. If this isn't a foundation that you've tried before, I strongly recommend it. If you are indeed on the hunt of your holy grail, like I have been, like most people are, definitely check it out. If you have tried it and you love it, I would love to hear from you in the comments, just to let me know what kind of skin type you've got, so that we can help other people out who might be watching this review as well. Likewise, if you've tried this and you didn't like it, I'd be really curious to hear from you as well, just to hear what your experience is. But yeah, like I said, that is it from me today. I am so happy. I cannot wait to apply this again tomorrow. I'm so excited. Anyway, I will see you again soon. Bye!